Hi guys, Keith Augenberg Farms. It is now the first week of November, and we went through some really cold nights this past week. We had one down at about 28, and we had 25, and then last night alone we hit 18 degrees. But I managed to keep this tunnel going. Last week I showed you the small off-grid heater that ran off battery power. Works great, small areas, but does not work for something like this. So today I'm going to show you how the pros do it. So we really don't like to heat much during the fall into winter time. Typically, the only reason we do it is something like this right here, because we're running an experiment for late season zucchini and green beans here. Now, the only reason I am heating this is specifically for the purpose of these are all frost and freeze, very sensitive plants. So if they get frozen or frosted, they're done. Out of it just like that. The small heater I showed you last week, actually had it in the high tunnel, did not cut the mustard. Everything in there's gone. There's just no way that I could do it. The heater we're using today is actually down at the end there. I'll show you that here in a second. But I want to show you the good production I've got going. So we've got zucchinis coming up, as you can see right there, flowering off nicely. And then we got green beans that are actually starting to flower too. So hopefully in a week or so, we'll actually have green beans to harvest on the farm. And I've already been getting zucchinis anyways. The goal is to try to see how long I can keep this stuff going. The only reason I'm pushing it and trying to keep going on that is specifically because we had 3 nights where it was going to be cold and really cold. And then after that, for the next at least week or two, we're not going to freeze again. So it's going to make it the perfect environment for actually pushing the season further than everybody else. And hopefully I can harvest green beans about the second week of November. That'd be super awesome. Also push those zucchinis a little further. So we're coming down to the end here. And this is actually what I've been using. I think I've talked about this before. This is Craftsman 120,000 BTU. It runs off of diesel, kerosene, and number 2 fuel oil, diesel, and kerosene. So it runs off of a bunch of different things. Got a really large tank on it. I keep it at 45 in here. That is specifically so I'm not freezing, but I'm also not wasting too much fuel. I want to keep the temperature up at nights to keep things really pushing and producing this time of year. So I found that to be the optimum temperature. I will tell you, I bought 10 gallons of diesel. We got about the beginning of the week before it really got cold. And I'm down to about 2 or 3 left. I did put some in that other heater. I think I burned maybe 3 or 4 gallons in it. So I mean, on average, we're burning, I don't know, 2 gallons a night in it. So you really have to consider the cost trade-off of how much you're actually spending to heat versus what you're going to get off the crop. Now, if I can get this whole entire bed of green beans to go through, that's going to pay for it in itself. Zucchini, maybe. I have some spinach behind me too. I'm not even worried about that because it just does just fine no matter what. So I mean, all in all, I've got maybe $30 of fuel in it. That's over 3 nights. So let's just say $10 a night. So if I got to heat this thing for 2 weeks, that's $140 of input just to keep this tunnel alive. That is not going to make it profitable at all to even harvest a crop out of here. So those are the things you really have to look at when you're considering actually heating a tunnel like this. And again, this is a 14-foot wide by 90-foot long Farmer's Friend Caterpillar tunnel. The only way to heat something with this, like this, is with something big like that. It seems to keep up just fine. I did get a little damage up here at the end of the tunnel, and I think that was primarily because I've been coming in and out because I don't have end walls or anything on this, or indoors on this. I've been coming through the side. I don't think it got closed down all the way. So I think that might have played a little bit of a part of it. But all in all, I mean, it's been running pretty good. So here's a little bit of the damage up here. You can see where the leaves are curled over. That is definitely freeze damage. But it's only in this one little area, which makes me think that the wind was blowing through and coming through and just nipping these. The radishes behind it, which I need to harvest or just not because I don't think I need more radishes. Those don't get affected as easy. They're not as sensitive as the green beans and zucchini. But there is no damage over here, because this is also the north side. But again, I want to reiterate the fact that we do not heat our tunnels basically for any reason whatsoever. The whole idea behind that is we want the plants to really experience the colder temperatures. As they experience the colder temperatures, they harden off. They get more sugars in their system, basically antifreeze for the plant, and actually have it do better throughout the winter months by slowly adapting to the winter. This time around, we went from 70 and then all of a sudden went to 30. So it's a shock. That'd be the only time I'd actually heat a greens tunnel. Instead, I just cover them with row fabric like usual. I'll be talking about that next week, because I've got a really good idea of how to actually store it in the tunnel itself. I think I saw someone do it once. I'm not 100% certain. I'm gonna have to go back and look a little bit, but I've got a really good idea how to store it in the tunnel. So all in all, if you want to heat a big tunnel, you got to have a big heater. You want to heat a small tunnel, you might get away with that one I showed you last week. So as always, hope you all liked what you saw today. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, put comments in there. Tell me how you heat your tunnels, what works best for you in your region. We're in Kansas. It goes from here to here to here to here, and it just is crazy here. You never know what you're going to get from day to day, and that's why I love being here. So thank y'all. Have a good day.